Over the years, it has become more apparent that Sega likes to feed off of the nostalgia of their consumers in order to market a product. The most recent instance of this is Sonic Forces, of course. The fact that the game reused older levels, including Green Hill and Chemical Plant, along with including classic Sonic as a playable character, is proof of this. Heck, even Sonic Frontiers will have some sort of nostalgia pandering with the cyberspace stages. The success of Sonic Generations obviously played a role in Sega's ideas for future Sonic games. Sonic Generations was fueled by nostalgia, but in the right way. The same applies to Sonic Mania. Sonic Generations is a celebration of Sonic's past, while Sonic Forces is just a quick cash grab. So what the heck is going on with Sonic 4? Once upon a time, mobile games were rising in popularity, so Sega thought, why not make a Sonic game for mobile devices? The original name for this project was Sonic the Portable, and it was meant to just be a spin-off for mobile devices that took inspiration from previous 2D Sonic games. Sega acquired the help of Dimps to develop this project. Dimps had previous experience with the Sonic Advance series and the Sonic Rush series. Say what you will about those games, but my thoughts on those are for another time. Anyway, it seemed like the project was in pretty good hands, especially for a cheap, short, and sweet mobile game, right? Well, guess what? Sega decided it would be a really cool idea to completely overhaul the project. Instead of making it a cheap mobile game, they decided they were going to release it on consoles as well and market it as a mainline Sonic release. That doesn't sound too bad, right? Well, here's the cherry on top. They were going to call the thing Sonic the Hedgehog 4, and it was going to be a sequel to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which is still considered to be one of the best 2D platformers of all time. Along with that, it was going to be an episodic release, which is something that Sega has never really done in the past with Sonic. It seemed that Sega was pretty confident in the outcome of this project, especially if the name was frickin' Sonic 4. I mean, it better be good, especially because this was a time when the future of the series was somewhat uncertain. Sonic 06, Sonic and the Secret Ring, Sonic Unleashed, and Sonic and the Black Knight were all released back to back and all had at the very most mediocre reviews. So Sonic needed something good. Well, the game was released, and it sucked. It really sucked. There was just so much wrong with it, and people were super disappointed to say the least. The game just didn't feel like the old Genesis titles. Was this really the long-awaited sequel to Sonic 3 and Knuckles? I mean, the game was called Sonic 4, but in this video I thought I'd take a look at both Sonic 4 episodes 1 and 2 just to see what made the duo so incredibly bad. Well, this is it. Let's begin with Sonic 4 episode 1. Now, there isn't really a story in Sonic 4 Episode 1 at all. This was obviously because they wanted to keep things similar to the Genesis games. However, those games had story elements mixed in as well. This is most noticeable in Sonic 3, as that game had cutscenes to tie things together. But the story doesn't really matter. How's the gameplay? It plays like garbage. They just did an awful job at recreating the Genesis gameplay. Sonic just feels so wrong to control in this game. You gain top speed in like 2 seconds, which is just not how the Genesis games behaved at all. In those games, you really had to work to gain speed, and speed really acted as a reward. In Sonic 4, however, this is how fast you can go. No matter how many slopes you roll down or loops you go through, this is it. There's no more speed to gain. And that brings up my main problem with the gameplay. The physics in this game are Sonic 06 levels of bad. There's really just no sense of momentum at all. Spin dashing is nerfed to the point where it just serves as an inconvenience. Rolling down slopes or hills barely gains any speed, if any. You can literally stand on walls as you can in Sonic 06. It's clear that they really didn't try to emulate the Genesis gameplay in Sonic 4. Those games had great physics and you can easily gain speed in the right areas, but Sonic 4 just does a poor job of trying to recreate that sense of speed and momentum. Adding on to that, they thought it would be a good idea to add the homing attack, which was a feature to the 3D Sonic games at the time. For a reason. They also had the audacity to add the special stages that were inspired off of the garbage and range-inducing special stages of Sonic 1, except for this time, you get to move the stage, which makes things somewhat better, I guess. I mean, it still doesn't make things any more fun, the special stages are still garbage, but how does the game look? Oh god, man. Okay, there are many things wrong with this game's art style. Everything just looks so shiny and plasticky. Sonic doesn't even look like he belongs in these environments. It's just extremely awful to look at. The actual level environments themselves are just reused from older Sonic games. Splash Hill is obviously just a reskin of Green Hill, Casino Street is just Casino Night, and Lost Labyrinth is literally just Labyrinth Zone. Along with that, Mad Gear, the final stage of the game, is literally just Metropolis Zone. The choices of level environments just show that they couldn't be bothered to come up with new ideas. They just wanted to add to the whole nostalgia thing. Sonic's model also just doesn't look right, and I don't really care that he uses his modern design design, he just doesn't look like he fits with the environment. His animations look absolutely atrocious as well. Like, what happened here? The level designs themselves are absolutely awful. You know how I said that Sonic can't really gain speed? Well, to accommodate that, there are boosters and springs placed everywhere so the game can gain speed for you. Along with that, there's your fair share of death pits and poor enemy placement, which is to be expected because this game was being made by dimps after all. There are also these random homing attack chains where you just mash the A button a couple of times. Great gameplay, am I right? The original Genesis games also somewhat had these, but the Genesis games also didn't have the homing attack to put the game on autopilot for you, so it gets a pass. The game also features many boring and just generally garbage stage gimmicks added to make the game feel somewhat inspired. Like, I don't want a minecart segment in my Sonic game. Like, Jesus Christ, man, did they even playtest this? They could have at least had the decency to make the gimmicks fun, but no, they're awful. I don't know how they screwed up vine swinging, but here we are. The bosses are also stupid easy, and most of them are reused from previous games. Oh look, it's the Death Egg robot. You know, from Sonic 2. Oh yeah, and guess what the boss is for Splash Hill Zone? Yep. And the flipping music. Trash. Utter garbage. They try to make it sound on par with the Genesis games, but at the same time, they try to make it sound modern. And if you're gonna go the extra mile to make the music sound classic, then for the love of God, make it sound classic. Some of these tracks sound like they're ripped from a freaking Flash game, and that's being generous. 2012 saw the release of Sonic 4 Episode 2. Mind you, this game released after the success of Sonic Generations, so did they learn from their mistakes? Is this game better than Episode 1? Well, yeah. Mostly. There are a lot of changes in Episode 2 compared to Episode 1. For one, there's actually a story this time, with cutscenes and all, so apparently, Eggman has captured Little Planet again from Sonic's CD, and it's up to Sonic and Tails to stop him. Metal Sonic even shows up to stop you in your tracks, so that's pretty cool. Sonic 4 Episode 2 is really just a sequel to Sonic's CD at the end of the day. Heck, Sega even re-released Sonic CD to coincide with Sonic 4 Episode 2. The gameplay in Episode 2, though, is still not the best. The physics are somewhat improved, but the sense of momentum and speed is still not really there. They also added Tails to this game, which allows you to use some special moves, like flying for 2 seconds. Oh, and literally the most broken spin dash imaginable, but otherwise that's really all Tails has to offer. As for the level design, well, the automation is still through the roof with boosters, springs, the whole 9 yards. It's really just more standard dimp stuff this time around though. Some of the levels also have multiple alternate pathways, which is always nice to see, of course. The level environments, while still technically being reused from previous games, have their own unique spin on them. Sylvania Castle is pretty much just aquatic ruin, but castle. White Park takes inspiration from Ice Cap, but also has a theme park, so that's neat. Oil Desert is just Oil Ocean, but with sand, and Sky Fortress is just Wing Fortress, but better. We also have Death Egg, again, but it really just serves as a final boss room and nothing more. Speaking of bosses, they have definitely improved for sure. None of them are reused, but they are also still pretty easy. My only complaint with the bosses in Episode 2 is that they last for way too long. Some people might like this. I mean, Episode 1's bosses lasted for like 30 seconds, but I just don't think boss fights should be the same length as actual stages in a Sonic game, but that's just my opinion. I really like how Metal Sonic returns in this game though. It gives the game more character, I guess, since Sonic and Eggman were the only two in Episode 1. The fight is also really fun when you know what you're doing, otherwise it could really be a BS fest. The special stages also return in this game and are based off of the half-pipe stages from Sonic 2 this time around. And yeah, I don't really like these stages, to be completely honest. They're boring, for one, and for two, the controls are god-awful. It's like they went a decade into the future and took notes from Sonic Origins, cause this input lag is absolutely atrocious. Otherwise, they're still better than Episode 1's. The music is also a major improvement from Episode 1. It's still not great, but I actually like some of these tracks. I really like the Metal Sonic boss music. I know it's really tame compared to the original Stardust Speedway Bad Future from CD, but I still like it. Oh, and Sky Fortress Zone Act 2 earned a rightful spot on my Sonic music playlist. This song absolutely slaps. There are some other good ones in here like Oil Desert and White Park. White Park Act 2 actually has some DNA from Twinkle Park from Sonic Adventure, so that's also really cool. But overall, I think for this game, they try to distance the OST from the Genesis games a little more, which is actually for the better in my opinion. You can still hear some of the Genesis DNA in some of the songs, but it doesn't feel forced this time around. Overall, the OST is good in my opinion. Also, if you own Sonic 4 Episode 1, then Episode 2 grants you access to Episode Metal, which provides some backstory of how Metal Sonic is in Episode 2. You also get to play harder versions of the 4 zones from Episode 1 as Metal Sonic, which is cool, I guess. I wish we got to play a remake of Stardust Speedway, but I appreciate the fan service nonetheless. But while there are a ton of improvements in Episode 2, the core gameplay pretty much goes unchanged from Episode 1, which really hinders the experience in my opinion. So that was Sonic the Hedgehog 4. These games are mediocre at best. They really do feel like mobile games at the end of the day. I just really think the marketing, however, is what gave these games poor reception in the first place. If they just called it something else and just released them onto the digital stores without calling it freaking Sonic 4, then I don't think they would have been received as poorly. The games at their core would still not be that good, but at least our expectations would have been significantly lowered. This whole thing at the end of the day was really just a cash grab. After episode 2's quote-unquote cliffhanger ending, they announced the cancellation of episode 3, which probably would have been the same thing all over again, but with Knuckles this time around. These games to me will just forever be mediocre mistakes that you really gain nothing from playing. Instead, you should play Sonic Mania, which is really what Sonic 4 should have been from the start. But anyways guys, that's going to go ahead and end it off for today's video. Let me know what you think about Sonic 4 in the comment section down below. Do you like these games? Do you not like these games? I'd love to hear your thoughts. But anyway guys, that's going to go ahead and end it off for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.